South, Majid, Arun-Sai, Wesam, Koptikar, Chansky, Korakuma, Anik, Yahweh, C, Mao. You are the Arun-Sai. You are South. So before we start, I'd like to announce the rest of the schedule. Today we are going to cover the HBase that we couldn't cover the last week. Also, we will discuss about the machine learning package in Hadoop, which is called the Mahawk. And then this week, Thursday, we will have the last exercise lab regarding to the recommendation, Mahawk recommendation system. And we are not going to have the AWS the exercise lab. Instead, I'm going to have one more lecture next week, Tuesday. Okay, for the cloud computing, especially for the AWS. Then followed by your demonstration. Okay, then the next week, Thursday, actually which is not part of the summer course, but I suggest you to attend the AWS workshop. So if you have a plan to attend that conference, so that let me know your proof of attendance. I'd like to give the extra credit for you. Okay, anyone who is going to attend the next week conference? I got a couple of email to register that, so it's definitely a good experience for you. From time to time, why don't you check the event? There might be the event website, so you can subscribe to your mail for the research or even the specific the community. And the mostly around the New York, the New England area, it's expensive to host the conference. So mostly their conference are the commercial. The conference hosted by the Cloudera or the Google or some Yahoo. Sometimes such a practical conference is better than the research conference. So you can see what's the practical plan of that one. So mostly their conference are not very expensive. Sometimes free. Okay, because anyway, it's kind of the commercial for the company. So also the students are welcome because the student will be the future customer or the future employee of that. So do not hesitate to attend such a conference. Also, if you have a chance to attend the research conference also, it's not a bad thing to see the in the research area. So once again, today we will discuss about the HBase as well as the machine learning packaging in the Hadoop, which is called the Mahawk, and then followed by the Thursday last exercise lab, which will cover the if there's any missing part, the GA will cover it, but not for the AWS. Unfortunately, I cannot get the free credit for that. I'm contacting, but no response. But if you have a chance, so I definitely, you already download the exercise lab. Just follow the exercise lab. It's not very difficult. So you can set up your using the EC2 electric, the cloud computing, so you can set up easily. But don't forget to delete your instance, your computer virtual machine, once you complete your exercise lab. Otherwise, it will be charged. Okay? So for me, I forgot one of the instances that I tested the last summer. Then I automatically spent the 100 credit that I put. Then after that, it's charged $8 or $9 per month automatically from the credit card. I didn't realize that until I checked the billing. those small I didn't pay attention to, but when I checked my billing paper, so it has $9 per month, which has there were 3 active instances in my AWS. So don't forget to terminate your instance once you complete the exercise lab. And in terms of the price, it's not that expensive, but the Amazon require your credit card information, just like that. Are you using the Amazon.com?
Yes.
So if you are using that, I think that you can use that account. Even though you do not purchase, once you create your Amazon account, you need to provide the credit card information. It's the same policy. So, but it's worthwhile to have that. Also, if you have any research project or any part-time job to implement a website or implement the Hadoop or any computing environment, AWS is good choice. It's very cheap. You don't have to purchase. So even AWS provides a GPU machine, so which is based on the graphic card as a CPU. So we will see basic of the cloud computing based on the AWS next week, Tuesday. Also next week, Tuesday, we will have the demo. So we have 5 teams. At that time, it's basically a demonstration of your program. So we will meet on the Tech 163. So at the time, if you cannot demonstrate on, so for example, you need to demonstrate with the cluster. It's not easy to project to our projector. At the time, it's a good idea to prepare the very short presentation file with a screenshot. Then for your demonstration, we can see together in front of the computer. Okay? Or another the alternative way to demonstrate your project is instead of the entire cluster, you can migrate into the one pseudo cluster in your computer or with a small amount of the data. However, when you submit the entire project, that should include your source code and your entire data set and your result. Okay? Your result can be presented by PPT file that I uploaded. I already uploaded the template of your PPT file. It's a 2x3 posters, the template. So you don't have to write details of the writing up, but if you are intending to submit the workshop or conference as a paper, so you can submit the writing up as well as a PPT file. So PPT, once again, PPT file 2x3 poster is required for your final submission. Okay, they should include everything: your motivation and the main implementation and result and conclusion, something like that. You already see much of the poster in the technology. It's the same thing. Then upcoming comment, I don't know which one will be the earliest one. So upcoming comment, I'm going to ask you to submit the abstract with that poster. If there is any change at the time, you can change it and submit it. Okay, that is required. So I should have the 5 posters. Then, if you believe that your project is worthwhile to submit the conference or the workshop as a paper, also you can submit the writing up with the I2P or the ACM format. I think we have several the PhD students who are intended to submit the conference paper. It's a good opportunity to do it. But it's not urgent. It doesn't have to be perfect because we have a time. Throughout the summer or the even fall semester, we can keep revising the paper for your research. Then eventually we can submit it. So you need to submit the source code, okay, and the data set. Okay, if data set is too big, you can submit either the small memory card or the DVD. DVD can keep up to the 4 gigabytes. So if your file is less than 4 gigabytes, I think the 1 DB.
So the data set will be in DB.
Yeah, you can upload to Canvas. Okay. I think the Canvas has a limitation, right? So definitely you cannot submit it. But first, but you need to submit it. And for the writing up, so either or both the poster, 2x3 feet poster, or the big one.
It has to be 2x3 or can be bigger. That's fine.
Yeah, 2x3. Follow. Just pretend you are submitting a real poster.
It can be bigger than 2.
No.
For you, with the format.
So most of the conference accept the 2x3, less than 2x3 poster. If you get some the medical or medicine or health science, they allow much bigger, but it's costly to print out.
Yeah. And you said we need to implement our project and using a cluster.
Using what?
Cluster.
Oh yes, that's required cluster. Okay, but so as we have learned, if your program and the data is working well with the pseudo cluster, definitely it should work with the cluster. It's virtualization and abstraction doesn't matter whether you use this one or the full cluster. Okay, so we have 5 teams. Any problem? Like you cannot have any data yet, or so do not try to solve all the entire problem. You can focus on, because you can use even the Hive and whatever, but I allow only the net users programming this time for your experience. Okay, focusing on the whether you can handle the HDF, the data in HDFS using your MR program. That is the main focus for your data set. Okay. And also definitely I will give the more credit those who are using the multiple, the MR programming, which is user, okay? Which means the output of one MR programming will be input of the next year MR programming. Eventually, if you have the many MR programming, you need to use the workflow component, such as the Uzi. Also, if you want to use the HBS or other ecosystem component, yes, it's fine as long as you use the MR program. For example, some of the students would like to use the scoop and flow to transfer the data from other data source. So you can use such a thing. Because MySQL is already installed, so you can. So for example, if we are implementing something. The MR program that were transferred from the other relational database source, so you can implement such a thing all together. Okay, so due date is the next week, the Tuesday for your project. I do not have any plan to extend your project. Please try to do your best. And as I announced, we are not going to have the final exam. Instead, those who are attending the Thursday workshop in New York, I would like to give the extra point. Okay. Who is going to attend? I think I got to confirm you. So you can email me proof of your attendance once you attend. Okay. So. If you go to the canvas, the file, so you find these 5 files which were used for the faculty research day before. So there are not several templates, so you can use this template. But if you have your own, it doesn't matter. You don't have to stick with this one. But as long as the size is 2 by 3, which means 24 inches by 36 inches. Today we are going to start with the HBS. HDFS provide a bunch of the advantage, such as the big block size, which means it can reduce the number of IOs, which means it will increase the performance to read and write the data. And it can handle big data, such as petabyte size data, which is not easy in traditional database model or the system. But however, even though HDFS provides such a benefit of handling the big data, there are several important short-term weaknesses to handle the data. What are they? What did you feel when you implement the MapReduce program based on the HDFS file? What is the main problem?
It's not functional.
It's not relational.
It's not relational.
Okay?
Main problem is the mapping of the data.
Mapping,
Of the data.
that is the structure of the data. It's different concept.
Right.
Okay? But anyway, that is another problem because we can use relational model,
Right.
the primary key and the attribute and sometimes foreign key, so we can easily just select such a thing. To address that problem, we can provide high-level interface components such as the hide or even the pig Latin. Using the pig Latin, we can easily access the data. What else? HDFS is
Totally accepts.
redo, right? It's a redo. Sometimes you wanna change it, update, or delete the data, which is not allowed. Why the HDFS does not allow such a modifier data?
Because it's not intended for online transaction. Not bank transaction.
It's not the main purpose of
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah.
Okay? Online transaction processing require such as the changing the data. Okay, especially for relational database, which require very strong data consistency. If data is wrong, you need to update. But what about the HDFS? HDFS is kind of the workload, okay, and redirect. Sometimes we can release. There's we do not keep the very strong data consistency, so we are not going to allow update data because it's expensive. It's very costly. Okay, when you learn the data consistency in the advanced database design, to update your data, first you need to upload such a block into the memory and copy, and you need to keep the before and after image. Also, you need to keep some changing option in the log. It's very, very complicated and very, very expensive. If you allow such updating data, your system will be slower and slower. However, still you need to update your data. So to address such a problem, we'd like to have some other component that can handle such updated data. So HBase is acting such a data manipulation. And what else? What other disadvantage of using the HDFS file system? Can you access only specific data and just select? No. HDFS file system allow only sequential search. Okay, full scan. So from A to Z, from beginning to end, read entire file. Why? Because the main purpose of the HDFS Hadoop is for big data and the batch job. It's a huge. It's not online transaction. It's a batch transaction or the OLAP. Okay. So if we allow, how can you, by the way, implement random accessing in your operating system? Your operating system class probably provide how to access the data randomly, random data accessing. How can you do that? You need to keep the
memory.
pointer address of each data. That's cost. you need to have another data structure to keep the address of each row, each record. What about the relational database model? Relational database model has each row has some address or ID. For example, in Oracle has row ID. Okay? Even though you do not provide such ID, automatically whenever you insert the data, unique ID number will be provided for each row, which is the fastest way to access the data. It's the same thing in file system. In your operating system has a file system, such as the Unix file system, ext3, ext4, others the NFS, and the Windows file system, or the FAT1632. Each and every file system has the address pointer for each file or record. Using such an address or pointer, the system can easily find. You can implement a random access. However, HDFS ignores such a thing. Why? It's overhead. It makes slower you read our process. However, we need to sometimes access a specific data. Okay? How can we do that? So HBase is on top of the HDFS file, but only create such a component to access specific data. Okay, so HDFS, the first thing is one is random accessing, another one is what is the problem of the HDFS? First one,
Big file, small file. One time write
after I turn into 40 years, so from time to time, program. Short memory. So we will see. The last one is anyway, we will see together later. Last one is relational database. One of the benefits of using the relational database is it's very fast to access the data. By the way, relational database model itself is not fastest. Fast, the database, the model. Because if you are related to my class, the database design, we have discussed about whether file system or which one is best, file system or relational model. Relational model actually slower than file system. File system is best to access the data because relational model itself, in addition to the file, it has a bunch of the job. It's very complicated, so it's slower. So, but when we access the data using the Oracle information, well, the relational database management system is faster than file system. How? We can use memory, and also we can use index. Index makes the relational database model faster. So can we get such an idea into the HDFS, even though HDFS itself is not a relational model? Is there any way to, if we can implement the random accessing the data, what if the indexing? So HBase provides such an indexing to speed up to find the data. So that is the HBase to cover the weakness of the HDFS for those who are already familiar with the relational database model. Okay, so what is the HBase? HBase is called the H-head database. Okay, but it does not have their own data file. Instead, it will be on top of. So, what is core component of the header? So, MR and HDFS. So, on top of HDFS, there are a bunch of components which is called header ecosystem, right? HBase is one of the header ecosystem. For what? for data management issues. To address the problem of the HDFS, it doesn't provide the right updating data, and it doesn't provide the random accessing. It does not have the index. So to address this one, we can have the HBS. That doesn't mean HBS has their own data file or data structure. No, it is based on HDFS, which means, for example, that if you upload the Shakespeare file on HDFS and default to none, there is just Shakespeare file along the HDFS. The head cluster, then HBS will have some more information to use this Shakespeare file. Okay?
So it's not the HBase files.
You don't have to.
It's not in the HDFS.
Yes. For example, you can create the HBS table based on HDFS file. Just like the Hive. Hive, it does not create the new file, new data. Instead, it will create the metadata. That makes the HDFS file looks like what? The relational model. So you can use the select from where clause to access the data. Similarly, HBase, to address this problem, HBase is additional component to handle, to manipulate, to manage the HDFS file. So do not confuse. Okay? It's not separated. They are, the HBase is on top of HDFS file. Okay? Starting from the Google Big Table, so probably you understand what is the Google Big Table. So it is based on the that. Okay, so pretty much you understand this one. So this is under the Apache Software Foundation. So this kind of the database structure, database is called the NoSQL database. There are controversial whether NoSQL is the opposite of SQL, but I don't think there is an opposite of the SQL. Instead, it's like the life. It looks like not only SQL. Okay, so this kind of the NoSQL database should work with the logistic, the SQL-based database, relational database. So it's not only SQL. Is that the only NoSQL database? No, there are many more. So as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, there's a cat theorem, consistency, availability, and partition. Okay? So relational database follow all these properties, but in NoSQL database, they may lose one of these properties, so more loosely relax the database, which means sometimes it can be column-based, sometimes column-based database, as I introduced. So actually, the relational database itself can be viewed as row-based and column-based. However, nowadays, many people, many users are interested only how to access the data record efficiently, fastly. Okay, so it is developed and improved as the row-based. Okay, how fast is it? However, nowadays we can have a table, 1 million column. Okay, and several data. Okay, for example, think about the sensor. I have a sensor, 1 million of sensor to check the temperature and humidity, and along the United States. Okay, you can deploy. So the sensor table consists of the 1 million of one column for each sensor. Then I try to keep the last 10 days information. So all sensor will send the temperature and the humidity. It will be inserted one and one row. So we have less row than column. Sometimes we want to group by the location, the sensor in parameter. So there are we need many the function to handle column, or sometimes join the column. So that is column based. table. Also, sometimes some of the sensor will be gone, and sometimes we would like to add more the sensor. We need to more dynamically, more colors, which is not easy in traditional relational database. So that is row-based, the database, but this HBase is the column-based, which means schema is not fixed. It can be changed. What is a schema? It's a description of our database. So when we learn the relational database, so first we design, model the information of the university and try to find certain rule. Then, for example, using the ER layer 1, then eventually we will create the student table and teacher table. They are teaching taught by, something like that. So build a foreign key. All the data should follow this constraint, this rule. Okay? Schema, once you define such a schema, it's a fixed, never change. To change the schema, it's very hard. So you need to delete the table and recreate and reinsert all the data. Then you need to change sometime application part. However, in the sensor database that sometimes we add more sensor, sometimes remove the sensor. Okay? So it should be easy to handle such a column. And schema is not fixed. Sometimes there's no meaning of the schema in this kind of database. So that is a column-based. Also, another example of the NoSQL database, it's not only the column-based the database, but think about the document. So, for example, to keep for example, Google would like to keep all. I think I mentioned about how Google is working, Google search engine. This is very simple. From this one page, it will visit first. So starting from this, the a.html file. Okay? Which for the edu a.html file, and save this file in the server. Okay? Then using the hyperlink. Okay? There might be the hyperlink, and usually it is tagged as something like that, right? Using that link, visit the next, okay? So copy the per page. Okay? Per page may have several links and visit. Eventually, we'll visit most of them because that is the idea of the web, okay? It's connected. So whenever the Google ended, visit the web page and save the copy. Okay, this is called what? Crawler. Crawling is the listing, is a way of working the baby. Okay, crawler all web pages. Then, what is the basic element of this Google database? It's a document. Document is kind of the record. However, each document, his homepage, her homepage, his homepage may have different format, right? There are general format like the title and the body, but sometimes he adds some images, video, and multiple value. It depends on. So it's changes. So even it can be implemented by the column base. It's more dynamic, and it has a document. So there are general document information. But if we build a document database, so for example, MongoDB, probably some of you guys heard about MongoDB. That's another example of the NoSQL database. Another well-known example of the NoSQL database is Facebook. Social media. What is why social media sites are so popular and very attractive? What is the most important? Because before social media websites such as the Facebook, Twitter, even before that, there are ways to expose your opinion or your information, like the web page or blog, and there are images, other ways However, once social media website developed so popular and very, very popular and it's explored wide. It's
They are interconnected.
connected. Connection is the most like the like by friend or hobby. That is totally different from art. Okay, so which means if we represent this is me and this is my friend and my friend, the A has another friend and also it can be the friend with each other. It looks like graph. So graph is another data structure to keep the, I think the graph structure you learned in the algorithm, tree structure. What is the difference between tree and graph structure?
So.
Circle, both of them
They don't have
have the
trees.
node.
Yeah.
However, tree has
One
direction, parent and children relationship. So from one parent, so each node should have the parent node, except root node.
yeah.
Also, all the node in tree structure should have children nodes. Many children nodes except the leaf node. So there might be direction from top to bottom or bottom to up. However, graph has only set of
Nodes.
nodes and set of
Directions.
edges.
Yeah, just.
Edge is the between two nodes. So that's simple. So that is the graph structure. Using this, if we can represent such a social media site, such as the Facebook or Twitter, very important to sometimes group or find a specific node which is connected this way. If we identify this pattern of connection graph is good for marketing. So is there any way to search the graph? Is there any way to cut the graph? Is there any way to group? So we need to manage such a graph structure in the database. At the time we need the graph database. So that those kind of things. In general, if there is no fixed schema, that's called the NoSQL database, and HBase is one of them. So this is this diagram shows the overview of the HBase relevant to other head ecosystem. So this is the column-based database on top of HDFS. So HBase support faster record lookup, right? So random access and support to record level insertion. Okay, it doesn't mean HBase can insert the data into the HDFS file. Instead, they will keep such a modified data. We will see the already saw the architecture and the region server. Okay, the region server, they keep as a low data, and also it can support the data, and also it can support the indexing to look up the data fast. This table shows the this is a comparison table with HBase without HBase. It's a tool applying the HBase and MR. Okay, this is a shortcut. So applying only part is a random scan. Part is a random scan. However, the performance. Definitely, this one is faster. Plain is faster than the HBase. HBase is overhead. Also, maximum data size usually HDFS 30 petabyte. Logically, it's unlimited, but it can be limited by master because of the naming node. So there may be the practical limitation that is very petabyte, but in HBase it's much smaller. For the data model, in terms of the data model, HBase data model is the key point is a column. So that is the difference. Instead of the relational database has the, for example, the table, employee table has the number of attribute, employee ID, name, and address is the attribute or column. Okay, so fixed. If you do not have the data for address, you can use the null. Otherwise, you should get. Also, in case of the foreign key, the primary column should not be null, and also unit. This is the relational database model. However, HBase follows the key value pair, which is the basic structure of the HDFS. Okay, so what is the key? Key is the low key. Low key is looks like the primary key of the relational model, but it's not. It's not exactly the same. It can represent one row. However, in one row, there might be multiple versions of the data. Okay. Also, for example, this is we usually use reverse way of the domain, like not www.cnn.com. Instead, we can use the row key as the com.cnn.ww. Why? Because it's a much bigger domain. That name, and sometimes www is used for each user who are grouped in CNN domain, right? So our party. Then this row key represent only this set of value in the row, which means the CNN.com. Okay. Then in one row, under the one row key, it has different column family. Column family is one column family is a set of columns. Each column is not fixed. It can be dynamic column, which means sometimes some of the row has the column. Sometimes the other may have, the other may not. Okay, so in other words, you can define only the column family. Whenever you insert the data, you can assign specific column to the one column to the specific column family. For example, in this the table, HBase table, okay, this is a web page table. So key. One row is the com.cnn.ww. This is the row key for cnn.com row. Under this one, you can define the column family for general information. Column family. Specific sports information. News information. Three column family. So when you insert the one page of CNN.com, CNN.com may have many pages, right? 1, 2, 3. So from this page, you can assign, you can find, you can insert the group. So this is the general information. In general information, title. Okay, author. So you can create title column. You can create author column dynamically. This column name should be inserted with the data. Title is the today. Author is the lead. And this data value will be inserted with the column name. Then you need to assign which column family this column belongs to. Okay. Then in the same page, same CNN.com, you may have the sports section. So sports section you can create depending on the data content. You can create the column dynamically. So for example, baseball, hockey. Then baseball is the content you use. use. So in the next page, this is under CNN.com. It's a b.html format. If you believe there is a general, so this is the general information. HR. Column is HR, and this is the employee. So you can, HR is the manager name, James, and employee the new. You can create a new column under existing one of existing column name. It's a dynamic change. This is a column, family, and dynamic column. Also, not only for dynamic column, sometimes day after this page will be, even though this is h.html file, it can be changed next day, right? At the time, you can keep the version with the timestamp. This is January 1st, 2014. This is January 2nd, 2014. But their format is still the same, but different version. So you can keep the different version. Okay, so using low-key column family, column name, timestamp, it tells us something data that is called the value. So you can search the value using low-key column family and column timestamp. That is the key. Then value. That makes sense. Why? This HBase is based on HDFS and map reduce. Map reduce can handle only key and value here. So this is the HBase data model. Let's take a look at the other example. This is an employee HBase table. Okay. So there is a low key. Low key is the name. In this case, low key, because it's employee, so name is the low key. Low key. However, each person, unlike the employee in relational model, it has you define only two column family. One is information, another one is word column family. So whenever you insert the data, we like to insert the employee colleagues information and the row. At the time, colleagues information has height and state. Why? Silicon has height and state, but role. Role is ASF. In the ASF, it was director. For head is a founder. But role is a head committee. Head PNC. Height contributor. Column names can be different. So this is a column name. Okay, when you insert the data, however, you need to decide which column family this column belongs to. Okay. Also, when you create this HBase table, you need to define column family only. Then, sometimes, even though in the same column, you can have the different. 2010, he was the committer, but 2011, he was the PMC, project manager. Okay? So at the time, you can create, insert multiple versions, different version by time. Okay? This is the logical view of the HBase table. Okay? Which means, in general, HBase table is much more flexible than employee. Because of that, sometimes a little bit hard to get used the NoSQL database because it doesn't have the fixed schema, so it doesn't look like a real table. However, it's more flexible. Okay, when you collect the information from the web page, all web page has different format, different the layout. So at the time. What if we want to implement these exactly same data for relational database? How can you implement this?
There are more tables, many tables.
You need to
More tables.
separate the Roman, this table, and the information.
One table.
Okay, one table. and rules another thing. Okay, at that time, even though you create a word, for the word, you need to separate the version, history. Okay, because they have basically many to many. This is a many to many. So that's the difference. In the normalization process in relational database model, you can segment the one big table into smaller table. That is normalization. That doesn't mean normalization process provide fast data processing. No, it will be slow. Why? You need to join if you want to access, because